I'm at East London Mosque today, and the reason why I've come here is because major London mosques, after months of lockdown, they've decided to try to reopen their doors. So East London Mosque, which is one of the major mosques in London, has decided to open just for Dhuhr and Asr prayers as a trial. And I think, as you'll see in this video, the experience for the worshipper coming to do their prayers is going to be a lot different to what we expected before lockdown.
Well, it's been surreal, even in our wildest dream. We never thought in our lifetime that we would have or we will see masjids closing their doors to public, and Ramadan being without coming to masjid, having the collective iftar and the Tarawih prayer, and Eid being at people's individual homes. Well, financially, just focusing on finance, it's been really, really hard. Because as you said, just to give you an idea, our Jummah collection is, on average, is about 5k to 6k per Jummah. Now, that was totally wiped because it's physical donation. People come here, they give. We tried to get some money via, virtual bucket collection. It was only hundreds rather than thousands. So, and our rental income from our retail units that we have alongside the mosque building, they are also about 70% to 80% down because people can't pay. But we are fortunate that we got, big enough capacity and reserves that we had to tap into, and the government furlough scheme has helped. These are our two main halls which are open at the moment. So that's the front hall, and this is the dome hall. And these markers here on the floor, are the spot on which each individual musalli is asked to place their mat and then stand on top, on their mat basically. And the way we've done it is we've taken the opportunity of having a hybrid system. The government is saying allowing 1 meter plus. So what we've done is side by side, we've got 2 meters, and front and back, as you can see, it's a diamond shape. We've got 1.5 meter. So we're doing more than what the government, rule is asking us to do. Once the congregation is starting, or before we start, we have all the doors and windows open to increase the ventilation. Again, in line with Public Health England's advice. So we have a one-way system at the moment. As you can see on the floor, we marked it here, entry. And although we have many entry and exit points, we're only using entrance 3 on Filgate Street at the moment. And we have 2 hand sanitizers here, pedal one so that people don't have to touch it with their hands. So it's a pedal one. So they, sanitize their hands like this. And we have various notices up here, reiterating what I said earlier on. Masks. And then a checklist for entering the masjid here. Do's and don'ts. And then we have individual notices. So what we do is we ask, and then we've marked up the payment outside. So if there's a queue, then people are maintaining the minimum distance, basically. And this is the store that we have with those items I've said. If people forget to bring with them a mask, a prayer mat, and a shoe bag, then that's where they can come and get it. And this is the area. As you can see, people are starting to queue up. Can you come up? Starting to queue up here. So we advertised as opening the door 15 minutes before the Jama'ah, but to not make musallis wait too long and create a congestion here, we open up a little bit earlier. There's quite a lot of restrictions, but the 4 must-dos are: you have to make wudu before you come to the masjid. Without wudu, you're not permitted to enter. Second one, you must wear a mask at all times, especially whilst you're inside the building, because that's our boundary. Without a mask, you can't enter. Thirdly, you must have a prayer mat so that you can use once you're inside the masjid. If you don't have any of those, sorry, and the fourth one is the shoe bags, because our shoe racks are sealed off, because most of the congestion happens within the shoe rack area. So we want to avoid that, so therefore we are saying that's a must. So those are the four things that you must do and or must have on you. Wudu, shoe bags, masks, and prayer mat. You cannot do the nafal and the sunnah prayer here. So immediately after the Jama'ah is concluded, people are asked to go, exit the masjid. The other two things that we are also saying is that any child under the age of 12 is not permitted to enter the masjid. And although it's not a must, but we are strongly discouraging anyone over the age of 70 or with underlying health issues not to come to the masjid. Unfortunately, the latter, the 70 plus issue, we're having some difficulty persuading our elders to follow that. Sometimes they're saying they're not as old as they look. So we do have one or two, very minor, one or two who have done that. And we let them go. So what we're doing is trying to tackle that by having our imams, after the salah, to remind them of that. That is for their own protection, as well as their families, that they remain at home and they'll get the same reward as they would if they come to the masjid.
So inshallah, you're planning towards maybe a full opening end of this month?
That's the hope, and that's the expectation.
Allah Allah